Phenomena commonly mistaken for spirit activity. While driving, a large gray figure hovered before my car. It turned, stopped, and maneuvered as one intelligent entity while I stared. Yet as my car approached, I saw it was a mass of millions of tiny black bugs moving as a school of fish. The whitish background combining with the black created the grayness. This revealing incident explains many cases of so-called outdoor ghosts. Unidentified noises and voices in a house can usually be explained by other people or animals inadvertently or purposely making them. Unless I'm completely alone in the building, I first assume someone else is making them. Even children have perpetuated elaborate pranks and fooled adults. One misconstrued phenomena, mice running rapidly across attic floors, sounds exactly like invisible entities making fluttering wing sounds across the room below. Likewise, audible footsteps across empty rooms often originate in someone walking across the floor below. Wooden houses act like tin can telephones. Single loud bangs can be attributed to animals falling acorns in houses shifting on their base, and falling branches too. Even architectural masterpieces such as the Eiffel Tower naturally, quote-unquote, breathe. Mysterious knockings can often be attributed to discombobulated woodpeckers. Small objects, cabinets, and drawers moving, opening, or closing can be attributed to houses slightly off level. Doors mysteriously opening or closing are often activated by an earth tremor or wind having entered in and acting upon it. Various unplugged appliances are known to inexplicably start up, but anything dependent on electricity can harbor a dormant electrical charge which may become agitated, thereby activating the appliance. Apparent body and facial images in smoke, vapors, photographs, and simmering waters are easily attributed to so-called matrixing or pareidolia, the brain's uncanny ability and propensity to organize chaos. For example, romanticized art and prose such as John T. McCutcheon's Indian Summer, and an Indian memorial in my hometown which states, statue of an Indian, big statue, occasionally you may glimpse our shadows. A former classmate of mine claimed to see his late grandfather's image in soups. For this, he was angrily chastised for giving in to so-called mental illness. Instead, a kind approach would be to assume he saw his own distorted reflection make him wistfully see, or supposedly see, his grandfather. Perhaps there was a strong family resemblance. Unintelligible sounds can be falsely extrapolated into distinct words, while common feelings of dread or being watched can be attributed to inaudible infrasound, which causes imperceptible eye or stomach vibrations. Mystery! Over 200 times I've experienced the phenomena consisting of brilliant, spontaneous appearances of light, usually yellowish, sometimes white, and always indoors. They sometimes flashed and instantly disappeared, but often appeared in one section of a room, sped more or less horizontally, like a miniature shooting star or comet, then vanished. Several times they hovered, enlarged, and changed direction, which direction of travel varied. They never connected to a window as light shining in from outdoors would. Although usually pea-sized, one exploded into the size of a blanket. After peering at one hovering near the ground, it shot into my face, illuminating it like a flashlight. Others illuminated objects behind them. One appeared, ascended in a straight line thinner than a toothpick, began to corkscrew up, then vanished. Sparking sounds, electric shocks, or anything akin to typical static electricity have always been absent. And there's been nothing wrong with my eyesight. Many others have, besides wearing glasses, I'm a little nearsighted. Nothing else weird going on there. Many others have mentioned experiencing this phenomena on the internet, sometimes two people witnessing the same event simultaneously. This phenomena has also been captured on videotape. Similar, very similar to what I've experienced. And these experiences are not akin to the phenomena of ball lightning. Although ball lightning occurrences are often more amazing than these experiences, they are always precipitated by violent storms. They're always connected to the weather situation. Some believe that these light flashes are the effect of spirits stirring up electricity in the air by traveling past, causing electromagnetic field disruption instead of the spirits appearing themselves. Others consider these a stage in the development of a spirit's manifestation. However, that's problematic since they're not known to be observed turning into full body manifestations. Although I entertain the notion that spirits were present, a scientific explanation may exist. I've scoured the internet and have read about auroras, lightning, nocturnal lights, and related luminous phenomena, fruitlessly looking for scientific explanations. But that doesn't mean none exists. Theories are supplanted or modified as new advances emerge. So far, the greatest minds are unable to explain numerous extraordinary phenomena with science. Regardless whether they are physically or spiritually originated, the wonders of God's creation are great. Shadow ghosts. As a child, I experienced a dark gray mass coming out of the upper corner where two walls and the ceiling met, another time by a curtain. These experiences terrified me, along with other feelings of spirit activity. But later I read about ghosts from books. They chronicled dubious cases with silly images looking like tobacco smoke, cigarettes or whatever. After reading about the hoax debunkers Harry Houdini and the Incredible Randy, I no longer believed in ghosts, viewing my experiences as a child's overactive imagination. From there, I joined a church that taught that ghosts cannot exist. Later, I learned that my grandfather claimed that a spirit entity occasionally visited him. Much later, I learned that my grandfather claimed that a spirit entity occasionally visited him in the form of a vaporous gray mass traveling along his apartment floor. He even identified the spirit by name, but I don't remember the name, what he said. My uncle later confirmed this, witnessing it himself. That's what he said. He described its shape like that of a cat, which came to a standstill on the couch. The shape also so-called seeped through the solid window glass. Concerning my own experiences, a dark entity spontaneously appeared in my room and disappeared into the upper tri-corner of the walls and ceiling. I've seen other black patches too. Another time I saw a small dark gray patch the size of a piece of broken licorice with fiery edges appear, speed, and disappear after being accompanied by previous knocking, seemingly following along the ceiling, the wall, then the dresser. 2 other times a dark gray patch appeared, sped sideways, and disappeared. Windows and doors were closed to the outside each time. Incidentally, their shapes seem insignificant, like random paint blotches. An abundance of such cases, identified as shadow ghosts, that's what the consensus of people label them as, which almost always black or gray, not white, have internet documentation. In some reported cases, the shapes almost had human forms, but others were irregular, like my experiences. In the daytime, I've seen invisible versions of this. A section of air was distorted like looking through gasoline vapors, which distortion sped across the room. Stay tuned for part 3.